Judge here at Hydra Fitness Exchange. Today we're going to intentionally try to brick this console. We're going to connect it to the Wi-Fi, our network, and do an update. We are getting calls multiple times a week on individuals bricking their consoles through the Ifit, the Ifit update, and we want to see if we can recreate it here on this NordicTrack 16.9 elliptical. So we're going to go ahead and start the process here by connecting it to the internet.
All right, guys, so we tried to do the boot loop sequence on a couple machines, but we actually tried 3 machines and couldn't seem to get it to do it. All of them are up to date, so that's unfortunate.
And we wanted to feel your pain.
Yeah, but we couldn't really feel your pain. One of them did update, but it still didn't go through. But we did do, before this, a lot of research on the issue of the Ifit bricking. And we have a list on my laptop, which is right beside me, of a lot of possible solutions that other people have found. And we do want to talk about some of them with you guys. And talk about also, in the past, there were some testings that I did on 2 treadmills that actually did work to fix the boot loop issue. So actually the first on the list is the pinhole technique. You'll see a lot of videos on YouTube where they're doing either a factory reset or a boot reset, booting the Ifit screen via a paper clip in a pinhole that's located somewhere on the top of the console or the sides of the console. It's like a really small hole. And what most people are doing is just inserting the paper clip into there, holding it, turning off the switch, and then it forces the treadmill into a booting screen.
We actually did one of those videos for the pinhole technique. Actually, you did, Michael. You can click on it here. And they've worked for us 100% of the time. Now we've only done a couple.
On 2.
Yeah.
2 treadmills at work.
So the pinhole technique is kind of like the proven one, but not every machine has a pinhole reset. That's the problem. And that's why we went to the NordicTrack 16.9. It's an older console and has no external access to the software inside of the console. So.
Yeah, so that for sure has worked on many other people's treadmills and the 2 that I worked on. So you could try that. Like Will said, we'll put a link up above and also in the description down below for you to click on our video of how we solved that. And you can follow those steps. Hopefully that'll work with you guys. Another thing is we actually found a video where someone tried that pinhole technique, but also added on to that. This is like more ingrained, where they opened the back end of the console and disconnected some of the wiring and reconnected it. There was like a USB, where was it?
There's a connector that a USB connector that goes from the LCD display assembly to the main board in the console. Not the main board at the base, but inside the console, there's like kind of a somewhat larger interface board where all the wires are going to and fro. For whatever reason, there's a couple of people that cited when they put in the paper clip or whatever to use the factory pinhole button, that it would just invoke the volume for some reason. It would just actually change volume settings. I don't understand why it would do that. It seems like it's kind of an anomaly, but what I've seen and read about a few times is that if you take that interface board off the chain, in other words, disconnect that USB from the LCD display, and then do the pinhole technique, that people were getting it to work. Sounds kind of weird and odd. I mean, but so is a boot loop on, you know, what is the biggest name boot loop issue on what is the biggest name brand in the industry. Icon Health and Fitness, i.e. Ifit. So don't you think that's kind of weird?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really weird. That was a weird one. But there has been some solution there with Pinhole / USB disconnect. I don't know.
So you could try that. Another possible solution that we found, this was actually on two Reddit threads, and we'll also include the links to every thread that we looked at and videos on other possible solutions in the description down below. So you guys can check that out. But those two had to do with router type issues. Will, do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah. Well, personally, I use Spectrum. It's a big name brand, obviously, for an IP internet provider. And I have dual band, so I have a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz setup. You know, 2.4 gigahertz is for longer range. So if you got a larger house, you'd want to be on that one. 5 gigahertz is better for speed and like less interference. So if you're closer to your source, your internet source, you'd want to be on 5 gigahertz. With that being said, that when you get these things installed by your IP, that they're named the same thing, just one's 2.4, one's 5, but the name assigned to your IP address in your network is the same. And so, what high level, what a lot of people are saying is when people are booting up, there's something in Ifit that's like looking at both of the SSIDs, and then something happens as the boot screen's going up. Internally, the software just kind of spazzes out, and I think that is what's causing.
And they had.
Obviously, I'm not a coder for Ifit. I don't know at a code level what's going on, but that's what we're actually. And I think it happened. I think that is happening a lot because, you know, I know these dual bands are in so many homes across the United States. So with that said, I mean, the solution can get kind of technical, wouldn't you say, Michael? Mm-hmm. So, you know, you have to reconfigure your through your network settings. What a lot of people did was they essentially turned one band off and then made a guest or alternate SSID. Now, you don't want to go and alternate. You don't want to go and modify all your network. Your network, because then it messes with all the other devices. But what we found out is that's exactly what they did. Is they made a different SSID that's different from whether it be on 5 gigahertz or 2.4. Again, you got to decide based on where your treadmill is compared to your source, right? Your internet source. Both 2.4 or 5 aside, like they just made a different SSID. And essentially isolated and found out that it didn't do that. As a matter of fact, before they found that, what we've read about is that while on dual band, even after Pinhole resets, which had been 100% successful for us, it would resort to this confusion. And what got them through is going to one band, either 2.4 or 5, and that solved it. So kind of with a little bit of finesse, I mean, you can get everything set up where all your other devices in your home are on, what they were on before you had a treadmill. You shouldn't go changing everything for a treadmill, but and then this is on its own thing, like a guest network or something like that. Mm-hmm. Again, whatever band you choose. So that was an interesting one, and it's very, very plausible. We can't emulate it here. I wish we could. I mean, I know exactly how to do it, but we just don't have dual band. But give that a shot and some research, and hopefully you have someone technically, savvy in your house or neighborhood that can help.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one?
So the last, it was two people that actually had that dual band thing and switching names, and they resolved their issue that way. The next one is someone wrote on the thread, I uninstalled the Ifit app and then reinstalled it. That worked for me. And he says that may not be the best path, but that's something else that you guys can try.
I think that's a fluke one, but we're just gonna put it in there. But yeah.
Another one is went into privilege mode and reloaded the operating system. And what exactly, that was like the Android settings on the console?
Yeah, privilege mode is a mode that Icon put in there. It wasn't supposed to be consumer facing, but I think there was so many problems, so many consoles getting bricked by this bootloop issue that I think support was just overwhelmed and gave people essentially the access to this privileged, or other places call it engineering mode. It's just it's really, you're really getting into the OS settings and things like that that honestly could actually cause more problems if in the wrong hands. So I kind of get their reservations, but it's there. Maybe we can include a link to that. There was also this other weird video that we're just gonna mention, but we don't want any liability for what might happen. But we're just gonna mention it. And it's this bit.ly link that a really wonderful technician suggested. These are for older consoles, ones without pinholes or any other peripheral ways of connecting peripheral devices to SD cards and things like that. And I don't know. It's a really off-chain link that we don't know who produced it, where it's coming from, what's inside of it. There's just a lot of unknowns. All we know is that there's a lot of people that did solve their problem on their older Ifit. Actually, we had a phone call last week on a guy that he went into the browser and went into this bit.ly link and installed whatever it is, and a lot of other people too on the YouTube episode this guy had where he showed it. Had a lot of success with it. Just gonna mention it. Don't want anything to happen to your treadmill.
Do your own research and digging into that.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's there. There's been a lot of success out there. Just that's all we can really say about that one. Yeah. And then what's
the last one is, of course, what NordicTrack probably will end up recommending you. Replace your console. And that's obviously, we put that as last because we figured, if you try all these other steps first and check out the threads and the videos that we provided, hopefully you can find one that works for you and save yourself having to replace your console for how much?
I mean, consoles range, with Ifit in them from 300 to 1,000, especially if you can start getting into the 32Is, the 22i, the incline trainers and stuff like that, maybe even a little bit more. But bear in mind, if you put in a new console and do the exact same thing as you were doing and didn't heed or at least attempt some of the other things that we've suggested up to this point, you could literally spend $1,200, put it in, connect it to the internet, and be exactly where you were, which is, it happens a lot. I mean, we sell parts and they think it's us, and we know it's not us. It's this update, this process, if you will.
In fact, I think I read a commenter, he replaced his console like several, like NordicTrack just kept sending them more consoles, but that wasn't.
Throw some parts at it. Just keep throwing parts at it. yeah, that'll do.
So that's the last resort. Yeah, that's all the possible things that we found so far in our research. If we find anything else, we might make a future video.
The key to this video is that we don't have all the answers. This is a composite. We feel like we're getting somewhere with this, but we need your help. We need your help. We need your stories, not only the problems, but solutions. You know, in the comments below, just light it up. And this video is really just about trying to get past this, because honestly, Michael, it's been like 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a link to a blog where, you know, there was like lawsuits and stuff on this class action lawsuit on, you know, and, you know, we don't think that's the answer. We think you can kind of tough it out and get through it. There's definitely a solution for you. And that's exactly why we made this video, is to help you, and then you help us and help
other people watching.
Other people, yeah. Maybe there's something we missed.
Yeah. So definitely comment down below any of you guys that have actually found solutions to this iBoot screen boot loop issue. And for those of you that haven't found a solution, still put down what you have been experiencing, like the symptoms of your machine. If you haven't solved the issue, that might actually, you know, who knows, maybe a couple people have gone through the same thing, same symptoms, and then we could derive a solution from there. So definitely put your experiences down below, greatly appreciated. And like I said before, we'll provide all the resources that we found, videos, links in the description down below for your further assistance. So I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and if you found any use to this, like the video and please subscribe. We are planning on putting on more content out there that is helpful for any of you guys suffering from treadmill, elliptical, bike related issues, you know, how-tos. So again, if you guys really enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and we'll see you in the next one.
Adios.